Hello guys, welcome back to the informative. My name is Fides, and today's topic is going to be about toxic family members or toxic family relations. I have seen so many people have mental issues because of that. If you're watching this video and you come from a family that's where you're loved, where people are there for you no matter what, then you should tell God thank you, because not everyone is privileged to come from those kind of families. And I am a member of several groups in different platforms, and every time someone would come up with an issue about family and how it's affecting their life currently, you see people react differently. I believe people who take it like, oh, that is nothing, it shouldn't be a bother. These are people who come from families. They have not experienced what it is to come from a family that does not support you. They have not experienced coming from families where they feel they are privileged. You are privileged to be with them, or they're just toxic, basically, just toxic. So yeah, I want to say that if you come from a family where you're loved, where people are there for you, they hold your back, you need family. I believe you are given family because God knew the world would be so rough, the world would be so tough. But having people at your people, your people, then you need it. And now, to those of you who are watching this video and you come from families where you're not supported, you come from families where every time you have an encounter with them you feel drained, you're not respected, you come from people who will say mean things or lies about you just to make themselves look better, or to make them feel okay, you're not alone. There are very many people who are going through it. And the purpose of this video is for me to convince you to cut those ties. I was watching a certain sermon, and it was an evening. It was not a Sunday service. It was an evening service where people go to church on Wednesday. And the preacher was engaging with his audience. And one of the audience woke up and asked the preacher, I come from a family where I give them everything. And I'm so sure this story, various people are going to relate with it. I come from a family where I give them everything and it is never enough. And these are the same people who bring me down. They bring me down by saying lies. They bring me down they say lies. You see, when you come from a toxic family, these people will say lies to everyone who they know knows you to make themselves look better. And I usually feel it's the guilty conscience in them. They know whatever they're doing in your life is not right. So they will go and lie to everyone that knows you, so that in case they always feel threatened, maybe these people, they will find out how you're treating this family member or various family members. So they will lie to make themselves look better, or to sanctify themselves, if I'm allowed to say that. So the lady asked the preacher, how am I supposed to move on from this, because I feel like I am stuck in this one place. And you find in most cases, most often than not, these people who go through this kind of experience, they are very empathetic people. These are people who give so much. They give their time, they give their money, they just give, they give. And I think what makes them continue giving even when they have reached depletion point is that they feel the more I give, maybe they will recognize me. If I continue giving them more of myself, more of my resources, more of my time, then they will value me. And you continue giving until you can't give no more. And I could see it in the eyes of this girl. And the preacher told her, these are your family members. There's nothing you can do about it. God placed you in that family. But what you decide to do moving forward from now is up to you. Will you continue allowing these people to continue affecting your mental health? Because I remember the preacher telling her, when I look at you, I can see you're not okay. And this is something that has eaten you completely. And he told her, you have to choose. You have to choose whether you're going to continue living like this, allowing these people, because they're your family members, to continue frustrating you the way they have been frustrating you, or you choose to move. They were meant to bring you to this world and to take care of you, but you have a life to live. You have to take care of yourself. And I know most of the time you are given advices by people. These are people who raised you, or these are people you grew up with, so you don't have an option. These are my thoughts. These are my personal thoughts. You have an option. If every time you have an encounter with someone you feel drained, every time you have an encounter with people you feel depressed, even though they're your family members, you have to take care of yourself. And I believe I'm a believer. I believe God will provide you with people if you ask them, if you ask Him. God will provide you with people to hold your hand. Because at the end of the day, what every human being needs is someone to love them, is someone to hear them. If God blesses you, even if they're not your family members, and these people can take care of you, he can send help in form of a spouse. He can even give you a spouse that has a family that will love you no matter what. He can give you friends. He can give you groups. You can join support groups. Pray for yourself. Ask God to give you people to hold your hand, because you cannot continue being in an environment where you're undervalued, especially if it's your family members. You know, when you get attacked, or in life, once you're a grown up, you will meet various people who will try to bring you down. But what hurts the most is when it comes from our family members. If it's people from the outside and they're hurting you, it will not hurt as much as when it comes from your family. So yeah, if you're watching this and you come from a family where people are very toxic, they lie about you, they abuse you, they use you, you feel undervalued, gent or lady, please just leave. Pray to God to give you strength. Pray to God to give you guidance. Pray to God to lead you to your tribe. Everyone has people who will be there for them. I remember in the Bible, Abraham was asked to leave. I don't know if he was coming from a toxic family, but what I know, the history of his family, they did not lead godly like ways. And God told him, you have to move to a different land and I will bless you there. If where you are, you're not appreciated, even Jesus told his disciples, if you go to a house and you're not welcomed, you just remove dust from your feet and move. You will always find people that value you no matter what. I remember sometime back in Kenyan news, there was this big thief. Big thief, he was wanted. Those people that in the news you're told, we're going to give you a reward of this if you find this person. And do you know where the thief was found? He was hidden in the biggest thief of those old, in the around early 2000s. He was found in his mother's house. And I believe, I'm not saying that it is the right thing to do, but that is what family is. It's symbolism, what family represents. You're supposed to hold your people and be there for them no matter what. But now, if the people that are supposed to be your family are toxic, then you gotta move. Especially when you've grown up, you have to move, because you're going to have your own family. And if you have not healed, because if you look at today's society, most of the people, they're suffering from childhood trauma. What they went through with their parents, what they went through with the people that raised them, is what is affecting them now. It is manifesting now when they're beginning their families. First of all, you have to seek therapy. You have to seek therapy. You have to pray for yourself. I pray to God you get people to pray with you, to hold your hand, so that you are able to become a better parent, or a better spouse, or a better friend. Because let me tell you, if you come from a family of people who are always saying mean things, and if you surround yourself in that environment, then if you move to your own space, you can only copy what you've seen. You can only be what you've seen. But if you realize that where you come from is not good for your mental health, it's not good for you, it's not good for your family that you're planning to create, you have to remove yourself. First of all, and I believe it will take years. You have to go through therapy. You have to go through a lot of counseling, I believe, and detoxify. You detoxify yourself by surrounding yourself with the people that you want to be like. I remember the preacher was telling this girl the story that I was talking about earlier. he was telling her, you say you will always feel the need to help because that is how you're grown up, and you tried to make people see you by giving back. But you cannot pour. I can tell from now you have poured, you've poured, now your cup has run empty. You have to take to yourself. You have to take to you have to take yourself to an environment where it will fill your cup. And those environments, first of all, they're not easy. You feel like to run because first of all, you have things in you have taken from this toxic environment that you have to get rid of, and it will be very uncomfortable because, for example, you realize this when you're in your 20s or 18 years old. Even 18-year-olds are able to to recognize. Actually, I know of a boy who's 8 years old. He ran away from his family. He ran away from the home where he was being raised. He went to a family member's house. He didn't want to go back to that house. He was asked, why did you move out of that house? He said, I don't want to be raised in that environment. So you're able to realize, even at an early age. So yeah, when you go to these places where they fill you and they detoxify you from the toxicity of where you've grown up from, it will be very uncomfortable. You'll feel like running. But the preacher told the girl, you have to sit there. You have to sit there around people that you want to emulate. Yeah. And they have to feel you. They have to feel you. You have to allow yourself, every time you're pouring, you have to be filled so that you can pour, because you will run. When you're running on fumes, then that's why you become angry. That's why you become bitter and all those kind of things. And you become depressed. So yeah, you have to go to places that fill you. The purpose of this video is to recognize the people who come from toxic families. In most of these families, what I've experienced and what I've seen in the society, most of the toxicity, it comes from the mother. And mostly it's maybe because of probably a marriage that failed. Now the anger is sent towards these children, or this child that was born in that particular marriage, or even their own childhood traumas. Most of the people that I've seen complain about toxicity, it's usually mostly from the mother, but also fathers. I believe they can be toxic, but every time you hear about people complaining about fathers, it's maybe fathers who abandon them, absentee fathers. But when it comes to emotional damage, most of it comes from probably mothers and the siblings around. Yeah. And it is not okay. My advice, do not stay in an environment where you're disrespected, in an environment where you're continuously unappreciated, in an environment where people spread lies about you to make themselves look better. And if you hear the kind of lies that family members spread about their kin, it is bad. You wonder, why would you do that to your own family members? But unfortunately, it's happening. It's happening to so many people. And if you follow platforms, I'm sure you have seen. If you're watching this video, you have seen. So my advice, cut the ties. Love them from a distance. Actually, I really don't know what loving people from a distance means, but just distance yourself. You have to take care of your mental health. No one will ever come to take care of you. If it's hurting your mental health, if it's affecting how you're operating, just cut them loose. God will provide. God takes people from their comfortable places to foreign lands, and He takes care of them, and He provides for them, and He gives them people that love them. Don't worry. Do not listen to what they're saying. And I know there are instances where you're threatened. I am your mother. I can curse you. You can be told. They say this kind of things. Let me tell you, if there is nothing wrong that you have done, actually, if there's a place in the Bible where it says, parents, do not provoke your children to anger, because that means God knew. There are situations where parents provoke children to anger. If someone made you angry, there's nothing. Even if they say they're going to curse you, I don't think those curses can fall on you. Actually, I think most of the times, more often than not, if you are threatening your child out of greed or out of, I don't know, you see this black, so it was called black what? I don't know. Please comment down below. Black tax, where parents feel entitled. It will go back to them. They don't realize the power of words. If you're hurting someone, the Bible says The God is a God of justice. He weighs checks and balances. He weighs. What have you done to this child? What have you been saying in the life of this child? At the end of the day, my friend, if you're watching this video, God has the final say. If they have told you bad things, tell them. Go on your knees, tell God you have the final say, have the final say in my words. No, I'm sorry, have the final say in my life. I commit these people to you. The battle belongs to you. I cannot fight my parents. I cannot take my parent to court. I cannot do this to my siblings. This battle belongs to you. You deal with them. You deal with them the way you can. You do this. Deal with them. My advice, remove yourself from that environment. Have a relationship with God. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Job lost his children, he lost his wealth, and God restored. And when God removes you from something, he gives you better. He gives you better. I know if it's a parent, you can never be born again, but he will give you mother figures, he will give you father figures, he will give you people to pray for you. I know of instances where parents go to even pastors. They go to pastors. We are praying that God will punish this child. We are praying for God to punish this child. And when you look at their lives at the end of the day, they are the ones who are leading miserable lives. They are moving from preacher to preacher, from preacher to preacher, and their life is still the same. So please, you just leave them. Do not even just leave them, because the more you continue being in that environment, the more you become bitter, because most of the cases you love your family members, you'd even want to have a relationship with them, you're trying your best, you're depleting your energy, you're depleting your mental health. Get yourself out. It will mentally be draining, but get yourself out. Go to church, pray to God to sanctify you, to deliver you from any verbal curse that people have spoken against you. Send it back to them. You know, their battle, when it comes to family, it's a very sensitive topic, and you shouldn't even fight with them. Just commit them to God, and you will see with your own eyes. You will see with your own eyes the Lord fight for you. You will see with your own eyes God send you people who will hold your hand. If you have children, who will hold you and your children. If you're not a parent, you will meet people that love you, and they will hold you, and they will hold you in Jesus' name. Do not give up. Do not give up because your family is toxic. Do not give up because your family has denied you. Do not give up because you have been sent to exile. You know, in the olden days, if someone was not needed in the community, they would be sent to exile. Go. Let them send you to the wolves. Come back leading the pack. Come back with a bang. We serve a living God. Do not be angry. Actually, do not be angry. God is the Prince of Peace. He will give you peace. He's a wonderful counselor. He will counsel you. Do not give up. I know of this young boy. He's the one who was doing the Wajakoya t-shirts, and apparently he committed suicide because of the pressures at home and the toxicity. And what baffles me is people do not realize how family can greatly affect you. Like I said again earlier in this video, when outsiders hurt you, it will not hurt you as much as your family will. It will not do that. But when it's your family, it can lead you to death. Actually, you can end up committing suicide. But I'm here to tell you, do not commit suicide. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Do not let societal myths and misconceptions. Let me tell you, do not be afraid. It is your responsibility as a parent, if you have given birth to a child, to take care of that child until they are able to take care of themselves. Actually, in the Bible, parents, it was their responsibility to leave wealth for their generations. You know, you have to take care of a child that you have brought to this world. Sometimes it's not easy, but do not make the child feel when they grow up, I took you to school, I paid your fees. I should have left you in the road or something like that. Why did you give birth? Why did you give birth to that child? It is your responsibility. And I believe if you are a parent and you don't take care of your children, there's a curse directly from heaven. It should befall on you for neglecting your child, you know? And that thing, toxic African culture of making children feel like it's the must to take care of you because you took care of them. Let it come from their heart. Let it come of the goodness that you've brought them with. Let it come out of, oh my God, I gave birth to my child. My mother never left me. Or my mother, no matter what, I know I was trouble in school, but my mother never allowed me to feel bad about myself. She corrected me, yes. My dad corrected me, yes, but he never made me feel bad about myself. I remember there's a time I had gone to Gikomba, I was buying things, and there was this mother and the child, and they were buying duvets. And one of the women who was selling the duvets was like, "Oh my God, you have a beautiful daughter." Do you know what that mother said? "No, you have not seen my other children at home. You tell me. How did that child feel?" I just looked at that woman and I was like, "Oh my God, oh my God. How do you say that? You're being complimented." Do you know what the lady said? I remember she was Tanzania or from Congo. She told her, "I don't care about your children at home. What I'm telling you is the one that you have right now here looks really nice." Yeah, and I was like, tell them, tell them. Most of these African women, if you African mothers or parents, if you tell them, you should not tell. Maybe let's say they were correcting you, and you tell them, "Please don't talk to me like that." And they're like, "Hey, Tukana, Tukana." They start crying. They start crying, and they call all their family members. "Oh my God, this child." I have, when you live in plots, you experience these things. And I hope one day, one time, I would get an opportunity to have this conversation where children are being affected mentally, a big platform actually, and talk about it because it's a menace. As much as suicide is a menace, it's the same as toxic family is a menace. Let me ask you: have you heard of a situation where you are a lady, you get married, maybe because you are taking care of your family, and they call your husband even when you're not near your husband? We have not paid rent this month, and if your husband tells them he doesn't have money, he will be followed with text of, it's like, the particular parent is sending curses because he asked for rent and the rent was not paid. How toxic is that? How toxic? I've had instances, I've had stories of where parents feel entitled. Now their daughter has been married, she used to take care of them. Now they carry all this baggage to the man. That is not right. It shouldn't be happening. It's a shame. It should be stopped. It should be stopped. We need to stop it. I know I'm not old. You might look at me and say, "What is this young girl? She doesn't know what she's saying." I know what I'm saying. I know it affects children's mental health. It's affecting marriages. If you get married to a man, let me tell you, if your daughter was taking care of you, you should never call their son, their husband, and start asking him for rent to take care of you. Just call your daughter. You are dealing it with your daughter. Leave the husband alone. Hiyo hata ni kujichomea picha. It's burning the picture. You're burning. You're destroying the picture of your family by doing that. Do you know, maybe the son will call the mother, and now their respect will be completely shattered. Yeah? Let's stop being toxic, African parents. Let's leave our children. Take care of the children. Let the way the birds let their babies fly. Make them fly. Pray to God for them to fly. These stories of petty, because maybe you call, this is a person who has started a family. She's the man is struggling. He has a new family. You want him to take care of the family the way he was taking care of it when he was not. Please stop it. It is bad. It is draining marriages. It is draining people's mental health. I don't know if you're going to stop it, but whether you choose to stop it or not, it's affecting people. That's the truth. That's the truth. I may not be old to start sitting here. People say sometimes it's only the wise people who are supposed to sit down and talk about some things, but you live and you learn. You look at the environment, what is happening to other people, and you see it's not right. It's not right to feel entitled that your church should take care of you, and if they don't take care of you, you're angry. You start saying lies about them so that people. Why do you do that, by the way? Is it a pity party? Again, I'm not talking about something that I have not seen. I have seen it. There's a time I was at a certain salon, and the lady who was making my hair got a call. She was called by another lady they had gone to visit. Now, the person who's calling the lady who's making my hair is the one whose daughter had given birth, and they went to this lady to go and visit the daughter who had given birth, of the caller. And she's calling this mama and she's saying, "Hello, you remember the sweet potatoes you took to my daughter? She threw them to the dustbin. She said she doesn't like them. And even the clothes we took to the daughter, she doesn't like them." And the lady on the phone call was like, so she was narrating because we had, and she's like, "So how did you know she didn't like them? I don't think you don't stay with her." I just know she threw the sweet potatoes, she doesn't like them. And I remember the lady, when she was done with the phone call, she was like, "I have children. I have three children. And whatever my children do in the house, even if it's true, this child threw the sweet potatoes. So is she calling me to hate that girl because she bought sweet potatoes and she threw them? Or what is the intention of that call?" She said, actually, because the lady has made my hair several times, she told me she no longer has a relationship with that woman. That woman will always go to her salon, but they don't have a relationship. Yeah. So whatever it is you're doing, you might think you're spoiling the name of your children to the people that you're calling, but the people are wondering, what is wrong with this one? You know, you might even lose your friends as an old person in the name of spoiling the name of your children, or just being mean or narcissistic. I don't know. I don't know what is the word to use, but yeah, I just thought I should talk about it today. And I hope the video is not all over the place. The point of this video, if you're watching this video and you come from toxic family members, remove yourself. Seek therapy, because if it's toxic, you've probably grown up in it over 20 years or 18 years. Seek therapy, remove yourself from it. God will give you people to love you. God will give you people to take care of you. God is the one who provides. His Jireh is enough. The book of James chapter 1 verse 17, it says, "Every good and perfect gift is from above." And the Bible also says, "Parents, do not provoke your children to anger." So God knew there will be those instances where you'll be provoked to anger. And you know, when you're provoked to anger, of course, you'll remove yourself from that. And sometimes you might even say things that you're not supposed to say because you have been provoked to anger. And that's why it's called being provoked to anger. So instead of soiling yourself in that way, you're this back and forth, or you say this, you didn't, just remove yourself from for the sake of your own mental well-being, and pray to God. Don't just start now talking to people and telling them. Pray to God to give you the right people, and He will provide. He's a faithful God. Try Him, and you will testify of His goodness and His provision. His Jireh, He's enough. His Prince of Peace, He's a wonderful counselor, and He knows you and He loves you unconditionally. Don't give up. Don't give up because they gave up on you. Don't give up because they don't love you. Don't give up because you feel alone. You can feel alone, especially if you feel like you're not loved by your own family members. It's only for a while, and then God will give you peace. Peace that surpasses human understanding. He will give you peace. And I promise, one day on my channel, on this channel, when the time is right, I will get into specifics. I will talk. This message is not for everyone, actually. If you come from a family where you're loved and people take for granted. Actually, don't take that for granted. You may think it's normal to have a loving mother. I see this post on Facebook. When you lose a mother, you lose everything. Sometimes you can have a mother who makes you lose everything, actually. They are there, but you lose everything. You can have a father who is there, but you can lose everything, They post a mother, no one can replace the love of a mother. You can have a mother who has never loved you. Don't forget. So just because you have a mother that loves you, don't think that everyone else with a mother has a mother that loves them. You just tell God thank you. And for you who doesn't have a mother that loves you, or a father that loves you, or a family that is there for you, just pray to God. With God, when you have God, you have a majority. Because when you have God, wherever He leads you, He will provide. If you go to this foreign place, He will give you people that will take care of you. If He takes you to a foreign land, if He takes you to where, He will send people to hold your hands. As long as your heart is clear. As long as your heart is clear. As long as your heart is clear, you will always win. You will always win in whatever situation. You will always win. Anyone who has been provoked to anger will get angry. Even Jesus, when He went to the temple and they saw they had turned His Father's place into a marketplace, He got angry. He poured those things. He got angry. That did not stop Jesus from being Jesus. That did not stop Jesus from being the Savior. He did not stop him to be the one who went to the cross and he died for our sins. So please, you got angry at one point because they did this to you. You said these things. Do not feel at they are going to curse you or your life is over. God has the final say. He knows you. He knows the things that you have done in their lives. I remember also of another situation where this guy, he had educated his siblings, and when he was saying, "You're doing this to me and the way I took care of you," one of the siblings said, "If you wanted, you should have eaten that money. Why did you use it on us? You should have eaten it." Mm-mm. Take a chill pill. You know, every day when you wake up, whatever you're doing, when you get, it's like you're getting into a shamba and you're planting. So whatever it is that you're planting every day, you will reap what you sow. So if you took care of them, you planted for your children. They will never lack. They will never beg. They will get the best in their lives. It's okay. You planted. That was seed. You will reap. They disrespected you. That is seed they planted. They will reap. You know? They brought you so much misery. They lied. They called people. They lied. They said bad things about you. That was planting. They were planting. They were planting. They were planting. They will reap every day. Every day when you get in, every day when you wake up, whatever it is that you do, you're planting and you reap what you sow. So yeah, this video was entirely because of toxic family members. Cut yourself loose. Pray for yourself. Pray to God to lead you. He will magnify Himself. Bible says He rewards those who diligently seek Him. You have to diligently seek God. If you're seeking Him in provision of people to love you, if you're seeking in provision for food or anything, if you seek Him diligently, and you know the meaning of diligently. If you seek Him diligently, you have to seek Him diligently. He will reward you. Don't feel alone. You're not alone. So many people, come on. So many people in the world, they come from toxic family members, but you choose. You choose whether you're going to stay in that space. You choose whether you're going to continue going back to the same people and begging. You cannot, don't beg to be loved. Come on. There are people who love people that they don't share blood. You say, let me tell you. Before there was a family, it is two people from different places who came together and they gave birth and they created a family. So you can go and meet with people that you don't have blood and create your own family. What matters is unity and peace and being loved and being heard. That's what matters, and having God. It doesn't matter. Forget about these other things. These other things are just a bonus. Having a family that loves you is just a bonus. Having good health is bonus. You know, it's a blessing. I don't know. I hope you've gotten the point. I'm going to stop this video here. But pray for yourself. And if you come from a loving family, thank God. Go to church, give Him sacrifices. Tell God, thank you for blessing me with a family that's there for me. And if you come from a toxic family, it's not the end of the road for you. It's just the beginning. God beautifies situations, and make everything work out for your good as long as you have a pure heart. But like I also said, people come from families and they do mischievous things. You know, there are those families, I know. My child is mischievous and I love them for who they are, and I love them, you know. That's a blessing. For those of you, you have done your best. You're actually the best in school. You are the best everywhere. You just did small mistakes here and there. And no matter what you try, you'll never be appreciated. It's okay. For sure, you'll never be appreciated. Just get up and live and seek God and get its blessing. I wish you the best. I wish you love. I wish you divine provision and divine protection and divine blessings. You are loved from the informative. Until next time, that's been Fides.